Looks like we're live. Back 30-day learning WordPress challenge. Day 1, take 2. In the last video, we learned how to install WordPress on our computer using local, thanks to this book right here, this manual. Today we're going to be diving into chapter 4, creating posts. So I've been using WordPress for 10 to 15 years, only done a handful of different types of sites with them. This channel is all about learning how to do much more. So creating posts is something I'm obviously pretty familiar with. However, I did skim through this chapter, and it seems like I'm going to be getting my first introduction to Gutenberg, which I've never used. This is the new block editor, new to me. I always, in my recent WordPress installs, I always installed the classic editor plugin. So this is going to be my first time playing with Gutenberg. Interesting. And yeah, like I said in the last video, I won't be reading verbatim from this book. So if for some reason you're watching this, then you're going to have to put up with some long pauses, some long silences on my part as I read silently to myself, and then we'll fire up local here on the desktop, and you'll get to watch what I'm doing. So let's start by doing that. That was my last install I did last time. Let me just make sure I got everything on my second screen here, so I can try to avoid sharing any sensitive info. Actually, I'm going to do this right now. All right. Yeah. Okay. Looking good. All right. Let's take a little sip, get our energy up. And let's see how the new mic works. Brand new mic, first time using it. Also trying this during the day, because I noticed the night thing wasn't working for me. After a long day of work, getting home and shooting one of these videos, didn't have the energy for it. So I'm going to try it first thing in the morning after the workout. Hopefully the street noise isn't too loud, and we'll see how it goes. So here we go. Chapter 4, creating posts in WordPress, the missing manual. So we're going to get comfortable with WordPress's administration area, the central cockpit from which you pilot your site. We're also going to learn about the, what is it called? How you use tags and categories for your site. How you structure your site, if you will, which is very important. Taxonomy. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. So let's dive in here to the admin area. So easiest way to get to the admin area is what I just did. Take your domain name and add /wp-admin to the end. Then log in on the login page as we just saw. Same thing if you're actually running WordPress live. So to browse around, we use the menu panel here. We've got our posts, pages. And then instead of going to posts and add new post, you can just, I guess it's not really a shortcut, same thing. Can always collapse that menu there. Okay, so if you also go to if you resize your browser or using a very narrow browser, it also collapses it automatically. Okay, cool. So in the collapsed version, keeps the icons, removes the text, and then you can still, yeah, cool. So now we're at the dashboard. Dashboard, we got all these different boxes here, which of course we can move around, delete or hide, and add new ones. So this welcome to WordPress box up here, it says that it'll only be visible until we click dismiss, which we'll do now. Now we can see a lot more of the dashboard page. Quick draft box lets you make a post in a pinch. I've never once used this, but you can if you want to. Recent posts. Oh, maybe it'll show up here once we make our first post. Recent comments. Right, so every time there's an update with WordPress, some of the stuff might change a little bit. So if you're looking at a different version, might be some slight differences. Okay, let's try something out here. So your site title is going to show up in the header section of every page, and also in the browser window. It's up here. And if a visitor decides to bookmark your site, that's what will show up on our bookmark unless they change it. So tagline does not specify where that shows up. I believe it also shows up in header sections just underneath the title. Maybe after here if the site title is very short. Caffeine. See? There you go. That's how you spell that. Okay. Time zones. Now this is important. This tells WordPress where you are. So when you post something, it will let WordPress know what time you posted it. But if you're in the wrong time zone, obviously that'll be off. So you want to pick that correctly. I am in UTC 4, UTC minus 4. I guess you can just pick your area here. That works too. I'm lost. Don't know where I am. Where are you going? We'll just stick with that. That works. I know what time zone I'm in, not what country. Now this also affects the comments too. If you've left, I guess you can leave time posted on comments, and your selected time zone will pick that too. Okay, date and time, format. That's fine. You can do a custom too. Not sure how that would look. Right, so when you post a comment, it's going to show the date and time posted. You can remove this, which I've probably almost always done. I can't even remember if it should stay by itself if you don't do anything, but we'll get to that eventually. Week starts on. Interesting. Cool. Okay, so you have to click Save Changes to make those changes stick. Okay, choosing a starter theme. Okay, so WordPress comes with its own themes. They've been, for the most part, coming out with a new theme every year, and they name it after the year. So it says here that it's natural to think that the latest one would be the best one, but that's not how they operate. They actually have certain things that they focus on for each one. So that would also lead a lot of people to believe that you should update your theme when a new one comes out, but that's not necessarily the case, because it says here the creators, developers, want each new theme to showcase a current popular style. For example, 2017 suits a site with large, attractive photos like restaurant or gallery. Maybe it wants to feature some kind of scrolling trick. Maybe it wants to feature some new scrolling trick that makes the content float past the picture and background, or any other new features that they might have added. By comparison, 2020 is a streamlined theme that has a modern typography, assertive headings, and a clean, simple layout. When learning the fundamentals, you can use any theme. However, you'll have an easier time using one of these standard year themes, since different themes developed by other companies add their own features and design rules. the examples in this chapter use 2020, so we'll do the same. So to do that, we go to themes, where we got themes, appearance, themes, do we even have 2020? We have to search for it. Does that work? Search installed themes, add new theme. There you go. 2023, 2020. We got lots of great free themes here. If you're just getting started, learning, or maybe there's a theme that looks exactly like what you need. Some great themes. Great looking themes. This one caught my eye, because I have built sites that look like this with paid themes, but this one looks good. All right, let's go back to, did it add? Yes, it did. 2020. Let's activate this. Okay. All right, so creating a first post, a new post. So in the admin menu, we'll choose posts, add new post. And here we go. Here's the Gutenberg editor that I am not very familiar with. Or forget that, I'm not familiar with at all. So it says when you come see this page for the first time, you might get pop-ups that guide you through how to use Gutenberg, but we're not getting them for some reason, which is fine because we've got this handy book. So as I said, never use Gutenberg, but I've seen some not so favorable reviews about it. That might have been in the past, to be fair. Maybe they've updated stuff, made some changes that make it easier. We'll find out. So far, just by looking at it really quick, it looks fairly simple. You add different blocks here. Got a whole bunch of different blocks that you can add. Patterns, what's patterns? Banners, call to actions, heading paragraph. Interesting. It's kind of like a template. How do we remove it now? Uh-oh. Delete. Delete. There we go. All right. Add a block. Browse all. Patterns. Headers. Posts. Yeah, so it's like little templates. And then media. Open verse. Open source images that you can use. I'm guessing your media library. Interesting. Okay. Get rid of you. Alright, we're going to switch this up. We're going to sit down for a little bit. If you don't have a sit-stand desk, I highly recommend it. Gonna have to adjust the mic too. There we go. Okay. Test. So the problem with the last mic was that I didn't have place for my keyboard. The problem with this one is that I can't see my keyboard. And as someone who never learned how to type without looking at your keyboard, it's making it a little bit of a challenge. We'll figure that out. So it gives you some tips about writing good titles here, which I clearly did not do at all, but that's all right. So interesting. That's good. Okay, so press enter. There you go. Brings you to the text. So it says don't add your name. Resist the urge to add your name at the bottom because WordPress is going to do this automatically. So as I said before, they do add the time and date. They also add your name or your admin name and maybe a few other details if I remember correctly. Like I said, I've always removed all that stuff. So we'll get there. Each paragraph you write is called a block. So, whatever. So this is from Google. I typed in abstract paragraph. I thought it was going to give me that lorem ipsum stuff. I got something else. Actually, we'll just do this. Okay, so we're going to paste that and then enter. Does a new paragraph. Each paragraph is called a block. When you move the mouse over a block, a mini toolbar appears with more formatting choices. So we're in this new block. In my case, right now I have to click on it. Paragraph. Okay, cool. Bullet point. Quote it. Cool. Okay, you can move it up or down. Align it. Bold, italicized. Make a link. There you go. Highlight. This is something. Just playing around with the different options here, which are not as simple in the classic editor. At least the strike through wasn't. I don't know what these two are. We'll just leave it at that for now. Drag. Okay, my toolbar. Oh, no. The paragraph? Let's just do, so if we go here, right, move that block wherever you want. Okay, cool. Okay, so when we're finished, we can save, publish. Nice. Yeah, view what it'll look like on a tablet or on mobile. Awesome. Love that. What is this? Settings. Block settings. I'm wondering, is this working on the next block? Can't even tell. No, color seems to be same. Actually, let's try this. Okay, there you go. Right, so this is to set up the formatting for the next block, I guess. Or whichever block you're clicked in. Does that make sense? Background. There you go. Whichever block you've clicked into, that's what you're editing here. That was for the block. This is for the entire post. Okay. Cool. You can change this here. Remove comments. Visitors cannot add new comments or replies. Awesome. Enjoy pingbacks. Author. You can change your author name right there. Oh no, select different authors that you've already manually entered onto your site. You've already given profiles to. Publish immediately or set a time. Awesome. Status draft. Pending, waiting for review. Private, schedule, published. Password protected. Cool. Very cool. Categories. Okay. And your tags. Awesome. View top toolbar. Distraction free. Write with calmness. Let's see. Oh, nice. But how do you get that back? Right. Let's just keep this here to be safe. Make sure we don't lose it permanently. Which I'm sure we don't, but editor, visual editor, code editor. Cool. Tools, keyboard shortcuts. Awesome. I need to print these out. I'm gonna have to learn these one day. Actually, this should be a good topic. I'm gonna add this to the whiteboard. I've got my whiteboard here with my different topics that I want to look at every day, and off to the side I've got potential topics, and I'm gonna write potential topics in there whenever I get an idea, just like this, as I'm learning and I see different things, hear about different things, read about different things within WordPress. That's where I get them. And now we got keyboard shortcuts. WordPress keyboard shortcuts. Gonna add that really quick. I specified in Gutenberg because I'm not sure if this is WordPress in general or just for Gutenberg. Anyways, we'll get back to this. All right, I'm getting distracted. Let's get back to the book here. Where were we? Type in post title, we did that. Move down. Okay, right. So we're gonna preview this. Can we preview? Save draft. So in the book here, we've got a preview button, which we don't have right now. I guess you're previewing it right now. Preview in new tab. There you go. Cool. So see, there's the name, date, comments link. This actually looks really good. I mean, for a test post with lorem ipsum paragraphs, it's a good looking theme out of the box. All right. So in the footer here, we've also got blog name powered by WordPress. We'll eventually want to learn how to remove that, I'm sure. Okay, moving on. It says most browsers have built-in spell checkers. Let's see. Yeah, we do get the squiggly lines. Cool. If you like what you saw in the preview, click publish. So let's do that. Click publish again. Are you ready to publish? Tags. Actually, we didn't get to tags. Yeah, let's just separate with commas. What do we say? Magic. Oh yes, as soon as you add a comma, there you go. Cool, it makes that the official tag. And then categories. On categories, we didn't add new categories. Parent category, we'll leave that blank. Tests is the official category. Oh, no, that's it. We'll just go in tests. Always show pre-publish checks. Sure. So there we go. Publish. Post published. There we go. What's next? Your address. Okay, that's actually good. In the older versions, or with Classic Editor, you had to change the format of the URL if you wanted to have just something, if you wanted to have just the title neatly written like this. So it does that automatically, it seems, which is cool. Yeah. Double check your posts. Right. So I added the categories up here. Awesome. Yeah. So it says that we've got to look at our first post, but to see what a blog really looks like, you need to have several posts, because it's going to, the blog is going to display the different posts differently. Won't look the same. So let's try that really quick. Let's just create a new post. Toggle back inserter. No. There's another lorem ipsum, and then suggested tags. What do go with that, and then the same one here. Post published. Let's view. Okay, so let's go to the home page and see. There you go. Cool. Oh, this is, WordPress always has a post by default, a hello world post, which we can delete, but now it's fun to see what it looks like, the home page looks like, with different posts, multiple posts. Right, so when you visit a home page of a blog, if it's a standard home page that displays different blogs, the standard way of doing it is to have the blogs posted one after the other in reverse chronological order. So you'll have the most recent one at the top here, more T. Before that we did odd T title, and before that is Hello World. And then at the bottom in the footer, the unedited footer, we can also choose how we view this way. July, August, right? Archives, categories, recent posts, comments. By author. If you had multiple authors, you could also select the author to see all of their posts. Actually, if you click on that, probably go to their author. Okay, it just displays all of their posts. Right. There's also a search feature which you can use to search for certain keywords, post titles, authors probably, I guess. If you're going to delay your publication and set your blog to post at a future date and or time, make sure you got the right time zone. And we already went through how to do this. That was in post, add new post was up here. No, it was when we click publish. And it asks us, yes, that's right, publish immediately or to future date and time. Okay, we got that. Editing a post. So let's go back. Posts. You can always go back to an old post and edit it anytime you want through the add new post page. So underneath each post, edit. There we are. So it's the same thing, the only difference is that instead of publish up here, instead of publish, you've got save. Post updated, right. So the same thing goes in here, all displayed in reverse chronological. Select a quick edit. Right. It's going to edit title, tags, allow comments. Make this post sticky. Interesting. That was a bit complicated for me in the past. Wait a minute. So let's try here. More T, or actually this one will be more obvious. Let's go to Hello World. Make this post sticky. Update that. And what that should do is when we go to our home page, that should be stuck to the top. That post should be stuck to the top. And it even says sticky right here. Awesome. Love that. Again, that was always complicated for me. I didn't have a make sticky option with the classic editor that I remember. Oh, still recording? New recording. All right, splice them together. Okay, so where are we at? See what else we got here. Quick edit. Change the date. Interesting. Password. Can make it private. Password protected. Template. Cover template. Full width template. All right, got that. Right. So one thing that WordPress doesn't add to the bottom footer of your posts is if the post has ever been edited. So if you want to have that, you should add it yourself. Maybe with the time and date. Say this post was edited on X date to include Y data. You can also delete posts. By clicking trash. All right. So let's trash the Hello World post since we don't really need it anymore. Boom. As simple as that. So now if we go back to the home page, our previous sticky post is gone. Right, so there's a note here that says just because you deleted something, a post off your blog, doesn't mean it's gone from the internet forever. In fact, with tools such as the Wayback Machine, once you post something online, assume that it's there forever. Creating the sticky post. Here we go again. Okay, so I think you can also do this when you're creating a post. Are we? Yes, we are. Right. So we can also make your post sticky here. Right here. Or when you're first creating your post. So it says the path to blogging success. Make sure your content is worth reading. Add new content regularly. Keep your content organized. And one of the best ways to keep your content organized is by managing categories and tags. If you don't assign a category, WordPress automatically puts your post in a category named uncategorized. Most of the time, your post should only have one category. Using more than one category is a quick way to clutter up the structure of your site and confuse viewers. You don't need to create all your categories at once. Instead, you can add them as needed. And from experience, I can tell you that this next part is true. When you're just starting out your new site, blog, you wanna try and figure out the main categories, the most important categories, and set those up right away. And then maybe as time goes on, you'll realize you'll need one or two more, or however many you need, and then you can add those. But try to get your main categories chosen early on. You can also add categories. Right here. There you go. Parent company, right? You can have categories, subcategories. You can have a hierarchy. Add new category. Boom. If you don't choose a category, WordPress automatically sets your posts to the uncategorized category. But you can change that. You can't delete it. You could rename it, I guess. I'm sure. Sure. Yeah. You can rename it. So to do so, the book is saying choose settings, writing, and then there you go, default post category. You can make it whatever you want. Don't forget to save your changes. Default. Awesome. So going back to the blog, when you do click on a category up here, it'll show you all the posts within that category. Right. So a couple of tips on choosing good categories. It says you want your site to have a fair distribution of posts within categories. So you don't want one category to have 80% of all your posts, and you don't want another category to have 2% of your posts. Now, of course, there's exceptions, and at the end of the day, you decide how you build your site, structure your site. Right, and maybe you plan to write more on a certain category topic later on. For now, you only have 1 or 2 posts within that category. But as much as you can, try to keep a fair distribution of posts to categories. And at the end of the day, you have to consider your reader, because they are the most important. How they see your site, how they experience your site is going to be the most important thing. So you want to try and look at it through your reader's perspective. What is convenient for them? What makes it easier for them to browse and consume? Subcategories. So the idea with subcategories is to take your largest categories or large categories and split them into more smaller groups. Right, so how you do it, pretty simple. We've already seen how to do it. You can add your category, your new category here, and choose a parent category. Or you can create it when you're creating a new post, and then come here and move it after. Quick edit. Right here. Parent category. Right, so it says here when you assign a post to a subcategory, make sure you pick the subcategory only, not the parent category. Because people who choose to see all the posts within a category or a subcategory will see that post either way. If you put a post into a subcategory and somebody chooses to see all the posts within the category, they will still see that post. Okay, and it says here that when you add subcategories, they'll show up under your categories in alphabetical order. It says you might be disappointed by the way they appear. It's a flat one-dimensional list in alphabetical order, but we can change that. We can change the way this list works with a categories widget that we'll learn about in chapter 5. So on this page, you can do things to categories that you can't do when you're first creating a new category within your post. You can delete categories you don't use, you can edit categories, you can enter extra category information. I've already looked at this. Okay, now tags. That's it for categories. Now let's move on to tags. So, very similar. Unlike categories, posts can and should have multiple tags. For that reason, you can be a little less strict with your tags. However, in my experience, you still want to keep them, you still want to try and stay as organized with those as possible. You want to think about them a little bit before you start or when you start your site or blog. And you want to avoid having multiple tags with the same meaning. Yeah. Tags are often more specific than categories. For example, you might write a movie review and your category will be movie reviews, but your tags will be the name of the movie, the director of the movie, the actors in the movie, the genre of movie. So, a couple of guidelines. Don't over tag. Instead, choose the best 5 to 10 tags for your content. That still seems like a lot to me, but take his word before mine. Keep your tags short and precise. Right. Pick Grateful Dead over Grateful Dead concerts. Reuse your tags on different posts. Yes. Consider using popular tags. Right. If you're trying to attract search engine traffic, you might consider using hot search keywords for your tags. This is a great idea. Another great one is going to Reddit. Actually, I think this tool might not exist anymore. There was a tool called subreddit stats. I think that was it. Right. And you could type in a subreddit up here. And type and click get stats, and it would show you a whole bunch of different stats, including top keywords. This is a great place to get ideas, right? For myself, a blog teaching WordPress or learning WordPress could have tags like WooCommerce, plugins, Elementor, right? Permalink. However, this tool, I believe, doesn't work. Yeah, if you read this here, this data is likely out of date or inaccurate now that Reddit has decided to kill the open ecosystem that existed around Reddit. Let you read that if you want, but yeah, they can't extract the data anymore, I believe. But a lot of these things are evergreen, right? So with WordPress, you might have new themes that come out, or plugins that come out, or different updates, and these might create new keywords which won't appear here, but you still have old ones. And again, this is just to give you ideas to try to think of and structure your tags when you're starting your site or blog. Don't duplicate your category with a tag of the same name. Right. Right, so here's a tip from the book. Think of a category as a fundamental grouping that tells WordPress how a post fits into the structure of your site. Think of a tag as a searching convenience that helps readers hunt for content or find related posts. I just learned a new shortcut. By clicking Control and then clicking a link, by holding Control and then clicking a link on your mouse, you open the link in a new tab, which is cool. Easy, probably not new to some of you watching this. New to me. Control and click instead of doing right click, open a new tab. So now we're just talking about a list of posts. Once you start getting lots of posts in your blog, how do you find them? How do you manage them? You can filter Instead of having them show up all in reverse chronological order, you can change the dates and filter them. Yeah. All right, you can also click here, title, with these two little arrows. Title, put them in alphabetical order. You can click here, date, put them in chronological or reverse chronological order. And here are your comments. The number of comments that you have, I guess. That sounds right. And then of course you have your search box here to search posts. Search posts that have specific keywords in their titles or text. Then you can bulk delete also. All right. Bulk action. Editing a group of posts. For example, you could add a new tag to a whack of posts in one go. Change a group of posts from one author to another. Reassign categories. To do this, just choose posts, all posts in menu. Turn on the check, set your filters, check your posts. Make sure all the ones that are checked are indeed the right ones. Choose your edit and then click apply. Okay, how to get high quality web addresses. So you don't ever want to change a URL, a web address. Example they give here is if somebody bookmarks a certain web address, URL, page on your website, you want them to be able to go back to it and not end up at a error page not found page. Also for search engines, you don't want to confuse them, so you want to choose your web addresses properly, your permalinks properly. Choosing a permalink style. Here's the good news, WordPress lets you choose the permalink style. It says here, if you don't change this setting, WordPress opts into a permalink naming system called date and name. This means it adds the date and name information to your post URLs. So for example, you'd have your website magictreehouse.com/2024 /8 /1 / 2024 title name. That's not a great URL. And that was my experience previously. Always has been. And you had to go into the settings, I believe, reading, or permalinks. Here you go. Right, you had to change this here. It was, I think this one, day and name or plain. But now, today, I don't think I changed this in the last video. I don't think so. Well, it seems like post name was selected. Anyways, come here, take a look. If it's one of these that's selected, change it to post name. That will be your best bet. Makes it clean, simple. It's good for SEO. It's good for the search engines. Maybe if you're a news site, then having the date might not be a bad idea. But in my experience, the name is always best. Also, if you, once a post is outdated, then are the search engines going to decide not to rank it anymore for that keyword? Right? If your date is in 2022, doesn't matter how good your article is or your post, your title, the search engines are going to see 2022 and they might think that it's outdated, so they might choose to not show that post at the top. Changing the permalinks style, that's where we're at right now. You can create custom permalink system, as it says here, custom structure. I won't even, okay, so it's just a matter of combining these here in the way that you like. Instead of post name, you could have post ID, day, and then post name, and then category if you want, and then author name, however you want. WordPress recognizes 10 codes, so it's these 10 codes. So a custom structure is a mix of these 10 codes. So it says here that you can also post from your phone or tablet. There might be times where it's convenient to just write a quick little post on the go. It says if I've never done that. If you do, then there are free mobile apps, which you can find at wordpress.org/mobile. Okay, so that's it. That was chapter 4. Posts, adding posts. Adding your first post. Cool, awesome. A little bit of an intro to Gutenberg, which was a lot less intimidating than I thought, and I'm looking forward to diving into that a little bit more. It says here in the next chapter, we'll dig deeper into themes. So I'm going to try and stick to going through this book one chapter at a time with these videos. And then I've got another book here, and all the while we're going to keep adding our inspired topic ideas. I'm gonna write them down there and figure out how to get those into future videos. So an hour and 38 minutes later, that's all for today.